Hi, I'm Himanshu Arora. I'm the director of Magpie Institute and Magpie International School here in Kota, Rajasthan. And I have been conducting classes for IELTS training for long, and I've trained over thousands of students to prepare for IELTS. And so it is very lucid task for me to prepare anybody for IELTS test. And it may be also very easy for you all if you listen to the video till the end. And if you have not subscribed to the channel, do subscribe to the channel as well so that you can get more updates related to the further videos. In this video, I'm going to discuss how to crack IELTS writing test, which is really very easy. And everybody knows that there are two tests. One is task 1, the second is task 2. Task 1 is of 20 minutes and you have to write at least 150 words. And in the task 2, you have to write 200, at least 250 words, which might require 40 minutes. So the whole test is of 60 minutes and you have to be very careful about the timings as well. So do listen to me till the end so that you can understand that how to crack IELTS writing test. See, I believe that it is not so difficult for all of us to understand that it's very easy. But I always say to people that if you really want to appear in IELTS writing, you should be careful about your IELTS reading as well. And whenever you practice, then first you practice IELTS reading so that it is always said that a good reader is a good writer. A good reader, always remember this sentence, a good reader is a good writer. I have seen most of the students making the same mistake. They prepare for IELTS writing first, then IELTS reading later, because they think that IELTS reading is tougher than IELTS writing. But I will always suggest to people that first you prepare for IELTS reading, because if you know how to read the things very well, if you know how to read the sentences very well, and if you have got knowledge towards the topics, then you can write very well. So I am going to talk about the tricks which will help you gain more bands in IELTS writing test, and it'll be very easy for you if you listen to the video till the end. First thing which you should be careful about, that you should keep all information focused and relevant. Always remember this thing. See, there is a word limit. We have to understand that the information which we are providing while writing, that should be focused and relevant towards the topics. We cannot go beyond that. That's the most important part which you should be careful about it. I mean, you can not write the views or opinions from your side, so you should keep your things more focused and relevant. In the writing task too, with of course you can add some point from your side, but you have to be very careful that when you uh, prepare for a writing task 1, that you do not need to add anything from your side at all. And they're really important because it has to be relevant, and you have to practice like this only, that all the points should be relevant. In childhood, when we used to study in our school days, what we would do, that if long paragraph used to be there, or you if any question used to be asked which used to have long answer, then we would write the things from our side. That cannot go in IELTS at all. So you have to understand that the information, whatever you are providing in your IELTS writing, it has to be relevant and focused. It has to be focused towards the topic. That's more important. Thinking the more important thing is that you have to answer all parts of the question. All parts of the question means that the questions which are being asked there, you should understand that the questions properly. So read the questions properly, especially in writing task 1. When Because comparison is there, then you have to tell which is the highest, which is the lowest. So you have to be focused towards the all parts of the questions. And in writing task 2 also, if it is an essay related question, then also you have to take care that that the question which is being asked, that you have answered all the things, all the parts, whatever things have been asked in that question. Whenever you are writing an essay, you have to organize your essay into paragraphs. And it is always told that four paragraphs are really good. If it is three paragraphs, then it is okay, no problem at all. But it should not exceed four paragraphs at all. I mean, it should not be five paragraphs or six paragraphs. So that you should be careful about it. And these tasks should be organized into paragraphs very well. In the writing test, also, it is always suggested that three paragraphs are sufficient. I mean, the first paragraph can be for the introduction part, second part can be for comparison, and the third part you can talk about the highest and lowest part, and you can show the things, whatever things are given into the pie chart or paragraph or whatever things are there in the writing task one. Whenever you complete your answers, always you should have time to proofread your answers. Sometimes people get frustrated while writing. You should understand this thing. This exam is only for an hour, only for an hour. So you should concentrate towards the IELTS writing test more and more, as much as you can do. So you should, try that. For an hour your mind should not get digressed or diverted at all anywhere. So you should have time to proofread it all. So many students do not do it. They think that whatever we have done, that's okay. We'll as much as we'll get, that's fine. So always write in pencil so that you can proofread, and the moment it is to be corrected can be corrected also. So proofreading is really important, and you should have time for it. First writing test is for 20 minutes, the second writing test is for 40 minutes. So you should organize or manage your time accordingly. You should not waste time in IELTS writing at all. Use a range of vocabulary. See, vocabulary plays a vital role in writing tests. I always say to everybody that most of the words are commonly used. So those words which are commonly used in place of, see what happens is like you have to write a word good. So in place of writing good, you can use different words like fantabulous, stupendous, impeccable, or awesome, or some different words. So what will happen by this, that you will have the range of vocabulary prepared, and you should have those words that which you're going to write in both of the IELTS test. Everybody does so. Everybody does so. They cram up 20 odd words, and they know that these words can be used in into any article or any essay or any paragraph. So you can also do that. Why don't you prepare yourself with the vocabulary before? So you should have those things, those words in your mind, that I am to use these words, so that you will not have any problem your vocabulary is concerned. Then you can write in the same way as it is being asked. So you don't need to worry about your vocabulary, but you should always focus towards vocabulary, because vocabulary plays a vital role. It impresses the checker, the person who is reading your IELTS writing. It always impresses that person. So you should have a range of vocabulary while writing the IELTS exam. And when you start writing, we should always think that what we are going to write. If you have practiced your things very well, and the same essay has been asked which you had already practiced before the exam, then you do not need to worry about it. But you should always think before you start writing that what you're going to write. So you should always do the measurement that these many things are going to be there in my writing tasks, both of the tasks I'm talking about. So then you will not have any problem in writing tasks. When you write, you should use linking words like however, although, apparently, consequently, therefore. There are thousands of words like them, but you should use some of the words, because these linking words make your sentences look longer. Please understand what I'm saying to you. You should not write short sentences always. Because as a starter, what people do, they always try to write short sentences. No, you should always avoid writing short sentences. Some of the sentences are short, then it's okay. There is no problem. Nobody's going to check. But try to write longer sentences. And to write longer sentences, you can use linking words like although, apparently, consequently, therefore, hence. There are so many words like them. So use these linking words while writing. And you should be careful that you should not use chat language. I always say to everybody that don't add any words in IELTS writing. I mean, in what we do when we write generally, then we write in place of writing do not, we write don't. But in IELTS writing, you should be careful that you cannot write don't. You have to write do not, does not, should not, cannot. You cannot write can't or shouldn't or shan't or mustn't. You have to be careful about it. I mean, do not add any word or two words. You cannot write gonna in place of writing going to. You cannot write wanna in place of writing to, in place of writing want to, getcha in place of writing get to, or gotta in place of writing got to. So you should not add, you should always remember this thing. You can never add words into IELTS writing because it is formal, it is purely formal. In informal writing, we do it. In chat language, we do it. But in IELTS writing, because it is an exam, so you should be careful that you cannot do that at all. Read both the tasks properly. People make this mistakes very often. They don't read the tasks. What they do, because they had already practiced before appearing in the exam, so they feel that the same kinds of questions are going to be there. Sometimes it does not happen. Questions are a little different. So you should be careful about reading the questions before. I mean, try to focus towards the question. You should at least give 30 seconds or 1 minute to read the question properly. 30 seconds to 1 minute to read the questions properly, because both of the tasks are important. You cannot go beyond the tasks. You cannot go beyond the questions being asked into the tasks. So you must be careful about this. When you write an essay, I mean I'm talking about the task 2, you should write the proper introduction of the essay before, in the first paragraph. As I have suggested to you, you can write 3 paragraphs or 4 paragraphs. That's fine, that is not an issue. But the introduction of the essay and the conclusion of the essay, both are really important. In between, you can write anything. I mean, according to the essay, whatever things have been asked, relevant information should be provided by you. So there is no problem at all. But the conclusion and the introduction, both of the things are really pivotal. So you must be careful about them while writing into the exam. Some people ask me generally, can we use idioms or proverbs into the essays or the chart or paragraph or whatever things have been asked? See, they can be used. There is no problem at all. But if you use them too many, it will seem awkward. So it's better to avoid them. But if you use 2 or 3 idioms or proverbs into the complete essay, there is no problem at all. Nobody is going to mind it. Rather, they're going to appreciate it. But if you make it more, so because some people, what they do, they just cram up the idioms and they cram up proverbs and they write the same proverbs there. So and sometimes proverbs are not relevant according to the subject, the question which has been asked by the examiner. So it always creates a chaos. So you should be careful that you can use proverbs and idioms, but not too many. But not too many. I think you also must be having the same question in your mind. Does handwriting matter in IELTS writing? Yes, it does matter. If your handwriting is poor, please improve your handwriting. Please improve your handwriting. You do not need to write in cursive handwriting. That's fine. That's okay. But you have to improve your handwriting. At least it should be legible. If it is not good handwriting or beautiful handwriting, no issue with that. But it should be legible. It can be easily understood by the reader, the checker, the person who is reading your IELTS writing. Because if you do not do it, it will create a big problem for you. So please be careful about it, that your handwriting should be legible, which can be easily understood by the checker, and you should not have any problem in sometimes you make these mistakes very often. You have written very good, you have written good words, you have written correct sentences, grammatically everything is correct, but then handwriting matters. So please improve your handwriting. You have time for practicing. So while practicing, you can do this. You do not need to worry about it. So these things, you have to be very careful about them. When somebody asks me that what pencil should we use, or we should use a pen, see, in paper based writing test, if it is a CBT, I mean computer based test, then you do not need to worry about it. You can You have got computer to write with, but you have to be careful about your typing speed. It has to be very good. And if it is a paper based writing test, then use an HB pencil. Why a pencil? So that when you want to correct it, you want to erase something, you will not have any problem into erasing anything, and you can correct the things. But if it is a pen and you overlap something, you overlap some words, then it will be a big problem. And be a good speller while proofreading. Most importantly, please check the spellings of every word. Even everything is correct, the whole sentence is correct, grammar is correct, you have used good expressions, you have used good vocabulary, but if your spelling is not good, and if you have misspelled any word, then the whole sentence is going to be incorrect. So you have to be very careful about your spelling. The most important part is your spelling. And how to improve your spellings? You read the word, think in your mind, and write the word on your own whenever you come across any difficult word. You try to do it with more words. I'm telling you, your spelling is going to be correct. You don't have to cram up the spellings of any word. Try to practice to be a good speller. And there's nothing wrong, even if it is required in your whole life. Why only you prepare for IELTS? You have to be a natural English knower. So you should understand this thing in a proper way, that you should learn how to write the words properly. There should not be any spelling mistake at all. At all. I mean, you have to focus yourself towards your spellings more. Academic task one. People say that can we write from our side if we do not find words? See, there is a word limit of 150 words, at least 150 words. You can exceed 150 words, but you cannot go beyond 150. I mean, you cannot write 140 words or 130 words. So you have to practice like this, that you should at least write 160, 170, 180. That's fine. There is no problem. If you write more, if you write, see, obviously, if you write too much, then nobody's going to like it. But if you write more than 150, like up to 170 or 175 words, nobody's going to mind it. If it is more, there is no problem at all. But you should be careful about your word counting also. So now in the writing task one, you just have to be a reporter. What does a reporter do? He only tells the correct informations, pieces of information. I mean, whatever things are being given, the reporter cannot add points from that person's perspective, or any information cannot be given by the self perspective. So you just have to be reporter. The pieces of information have been given to the writing task one. You have to follow the same. You just need to follow the same. You need to write the correct information with the information which has been given into the writing task one. Just be careful about it. And please be careful that you cannot make assumptions from your side into writing task one. But yes, in case of writing task two, you can write from your side also, because while writing the conclusion part, especially, you can make assumptions. You can tell your opinion, you can tell your views. There is nothing wrong. There is nothing wrong at all. So that can be done while writing task two. And when it comes to the time limit, see, it is always said that you cannot spend more than 20 minutes on the writing task one. So you just divide like this. Sometimes, what students do, they spend more time on writing task one, then they have very less time, very short time for the writing task two. Then it always creates a big problem for the writers. So please be careful about it, that you cannot spend more than 20 minutes for the writing task one. So you should prepare and practice like that only, that you should be able to finish your writing task one into 18 minutes or 17 minutes, and so, and there will be no problem at all. But practice like this as such. Don't count the number of words, count the lines and estimate the word count. You should also Think of it that you write 7 words in one line. So just count the lines accordingly. You don't have to count every word into the writing task, one or two. Please be careful about it because it will consume your time and you have very short time. Please understand this thing, you have to write more. So you might not have a lot of time to complete the task. So please be careful about this as well. And always write conclusion from your side for writing task 2, especially from your side. Conclusion is important because sometimes checkers do not have a lot of time. So they only mark the things which have been given into the passage and they read the conclusion more. So you should be careful about your conclusion. Make your conclusion more strong. It has to be good enough so that people can understand. So please be careful about it. That while writing the conclusion, it has to be stronger than the whole paragraph in writing task 2. When you prepare for the writing task 1, then especially you should be careful that in the writing task 1, you have to write the same information, the information what has been given. You cannot write from your side. So I hope now you must have understood the things which I have told you in the video, and you can prepare self also if you listen to the video carefully and start preparing for IELTS writing. It is not so tough. It is not a hard nut to crack for you, and it will be very easy if you listen to the video till the end. Now I'm going to explain to you, or I'm going to tell you the whole things what I have discussed in the video in a jiffy so that you can understand the things properly. Keep all the information focused and relevant. I'm going to talk about all the points which I discussed in the video. Once more, just listen to me very carefully. Keep all the information focused and relevant. Answer all parts of the questions. You cannot leave any part of the question. Organize your essays into paragraphs. Paragraphs are important. For the writing task 1, you can write into 3 paragraphs, and for the writing task 1, 3 to 4 paragraphs, but do not exceed 4 paragraphs. Proofread whatever you have read or whatever you have written. I beg your pardon. Whatever you have written, proofread that. Use a range of vocabulary. Vocabulary plays a vital role, so you should write more words. Think before you start writing. Whenever you are going to start writing, first you think in your mind, plan in your mind, and then you start writing. Just give a short time to it so that you don't waste a lot of time into thinking more. Be careful about punctuation marks. They do matter in IELTS writing. Please do understand this thing. Punctuation marks really play a vital role. You have to be very careful about punctuation marks. You cannot make mistakes while using commas or inverted commas or exclamation mark, full stop. So you should be careful about them. Use linking words, of course. Do not use chat language at all. Do not add up the words while writing. Read both the tasks properly. Don't make mistakes into it. You have to read before start writing properly. Idioms and proverbs can be used, but not too many. Handwriting has to be good. It should be at least legible if it is not good. Use an HB pencil for paper-based IELTS test. Do not make assumptions from your side into writing task 1, whereas in writing task 2 you can do that. Don't spend more than 20 minutes into the writing task 1 because you require 40 minutes into writing task 2. And don't count the number of words. Count the lines and estimate the word count. And always write conclusion for the writing task 2. Do not miss it. Do not miss it. So I hope you must have understood what you should do for writing tasks, and it is very easy. There is nothing wrong. You should prepare it. IELTS exam is very important, and try to finish your exams in first attempt only. Do not think that I'm going for the practice. I will go for the attempt to. There is no sense of it. If you practice hard, you will be able to appear. It is very easy. IELTS exam is nothing. You just, if you are a good speaker, if you're a good writer, if you're a good reader, if you're a good listener, you can crack all 4 exams. There is no problem at all. So bye bye everyone. I hope you must have enjoyed the session. Please do write uh, in the comment box if you like this video, and do appear in the IELTS exam. There is nothing wrong. Rather, get. I hope you would get good bands.